Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're really getting into the nitty-gritty of the trucking world. It's always changing, right?
Always. Yeah.
So we've gathered a bunch of recent sources, articles, reports, insights, a good chunk from Truckers VA, actually to give you a clearer picture of what's happening out there. Think market shifts, new tech, policy stuff.
Right.
And the big question we're trying to answer is, how can you, the professional driver, not just, get by, but actually thrive and maybe get a bit more control in this industry?
Exactly. And our goal here is just to break it all down, make it easy to understand, light, and really focus on how this stuff connects to your daily life on the road.
Yeah.
We want to look at the different angles, see how these stories impact you, and will hopefully help you feel respected, supported, and prepared.
Okay, let's dive in then, because there are a lot of mixed signals out there, some real challenges definitely, but maybe some surprising opportunities too. Looking across these sources, what's really jumping out at you about the current landscape?
Well, what's immediately clear is that just driving isn't quite cutting it anymore, or rather, the context is changing fast. The key insight isn't just adapt, it's realizing that all this volatility, it actually creates openings for drivers who are agile.
Agile. How so?
Think about it. Big companies might struggle to pivot quickly, but an independent driver or maybe a smaller focused fleet, you can spot those little micro markets, those regional niches, and jump on them much faster. It's about using the turbulence, not just weathering it.
That's a powerful way to look at it. Okay, so let's talk about some of those big shifts creating the turbulence. Our sources flagged a pretty major move by DSV, the big global logistics company.
Oh yeah, the US-Mexico thing.
Right, they hit the brakes hard on their trucking expansion there. And DSV, they're huge. When they pull back from a market, everyone was talking up. That sends a message, doesn't it?
It absolutely does. And they were pretty blunt about why. They mentioned a real drop in cross-border demand. Retailers here overstocked, people buying a bit less, so fewer big loads going south. Plus, they were dealing with constant border delays, regulatory hassles, and frankly, the profit margins were just too thin. They basically said, look, this isn't worth the headache right now.
So what's the takeaway for a driver hearing that? What's the ripple effect?
Well, zooming out a bit, DSV pulling back kind of cools off that whole nearshoring buzz we heard so much about post-pandemic.
Right, Mexico was supposed to be the next big thing for manufacturing freight.
Exactly, like China 2.0 almost. But the reality is the infrastructure down there isn't quite ready. There are labor issues, political stuff. It slowed the boom. So for you, the driver, it could mean less competition from the giants on some cross-border lanes if you're already in that game.
Okay, potentially good.
Potentially, but it also might mean less freight overall in those lanes. Rates could stall, maybe even dip. It's a definite signal to, reevaluate your routes. Are you sticking with a lane that's just not paying like it used to? Maybe it's time to pivot just like DSV did, but you can do it faster.
Makes sense. Okay, so that's cross-border. But what about here domestically? The overall freight market numbers seem confusing.
Yeah, a bit of a mixed bag is right.
We saw trucking jobs tick up slightly by about 3,600 in July. Sounds good, right?
On the surface, yeah.
But then warehouse jobs took a nosedive.
Yeah.
Back to 2021 levels. So how does that work? Trucking jobs up, warehouse jobs down. Warehouses usually tell us about overall freight volume.
It does make you scratch your head. Why are trucking jobs going up if freight volume seems softer? Couple possibilities. Maybe companies are just backfilling spots because turnover's still high.
Okay.
Or maybe they're shifting strategy, more regional hauls, shorter runs. Those often need more drivers for the same amount of goods,
Yeah.
More starts and stops, less mileage per driver.
All right.
And warehouses, they're getting super efficient. Automation, AI for inventory, robotics. They just need fewer people now. So the key thing for drivers is don't let that small uptick in jobs fool you into thinking everything's bouncing back strong. It's complex. Maybe it's more like a pause or reconfiguration before whatever comes next, not just back to normal. So you got to stay sharp, watch the load boards, maybe look for those more stable, regional, or dedicated gigs.
Okay, so market shifts are one piece.
Yeah.
Policy is always another big one. Drivers watch closely.
Always.
And our sources pointed out some Trump-era rules making a comeback under Secretary Sean Duffy. That's definitely stirred things up. Some of it seems like really good news, though, like more money for truck parking nationwide.
Oh, that's huge. Drivers have been asking, practically begging, for that for decades.
Literally decades.
And it's not just about convenience, it's about safety. It's about well-being. Think about it. 2 a.m., you're out of hours,
Yep.
and you're circling, stressed, just trying to find a safe, legal spot. More parking money means less of that stress, safer driving, fewer HOS violations because you can actually find a place to rest when you need to.
Absolutely.
Like that.
What else stood out on the policy front?
Well, ditching the speed limiter mandate. That's a win for owner-operators, for sure. It gives them back control, efficiency. Safety groups aren't happy, obviously, and that's an issue that just keeps coming back around.
It does seem to cycle.
Yeah. And also, good news on cracking down on illegal double brokering. That needed to happen.
Okay, hold on. For anyone listening who might not know, what is illegal double brokering? Quickly.
Right, yeah. It's basically theft. A scammer, a ghost broker, pretends to be legit, gets a load from a real broker or shipper, then gives it to you, the driver, probably at a lower rate. Then they vanish without paying you. Nasty stuff.
Wow. Okay.
So the crackdown means tougher enforcement, better vetting of brokers, more ways to report these guys. Everyone legit in the industry is happy about that. Protects drivers, protects honest businesses.
So if you look at all these policy changes together, it feels like a definite lean towards maybe less government intervention in some areas.
It does seem that way. Less direct government control in trucking. But like you said, it's a mix. Freedom and friction. And it's not always straightforward.
How so?
Well, take the tighter English proficiency rules for getting a CDL, a commercial driver's license. Some argue, look, it's vital for safety, communication on the road, understanding signs, instructions. Makes sense. But others, like a Latino trucking co-op we saw mentioned, they're worried. They feel it unfairly targets skilled immigrant drivers, people who are good, experienced drivers, but maybe struggle with formal English tests, could push needed talent out.
Right. That shows how even well-intentioned rules can have really different impacts on different groups.
Exactly. You got to see all the angles, like Hervey from Life, as a trucker always says. It's rarely simple.
Speaking of driver well-being, there was this other piece of news that really caught my eye. It felt different.
What was that?
A logistics tech company, Project 61, actually acquired a health and wellness startup called Offshift. And Offshift is specifically for truckers.
Oh, right. I saw that. Yeah.
And the angle isn't squeezing more work out of drivers. It seems genuinely aimed at making drivers healthier, safer.
Yeah, what's really interesting there is how Project 61 is framing it. They see driver wellness as the next big thing in safety.
Really? Not just a perk, but core safety.
Exactly. The data is undeniable. Burned out, stressed, unhealthy drivers, they have more accidents. That means tragedies, lawsuits, skyrocketing insurance. The FMCSA knows it, insurers know it. So this isn't just, corporate fluff. It's smart business, healthier drivers, more stable fleets, safer roads.
So what does Offshift actually do for drivers? What are the tools?
It's tailored for life on the road. Mental health support that understands trucking, not office work, sleep tracking, fatigue alerts tied to driving data, practical stuff like stretching routines you can do in a 30-minute break, nutrition tips, even in-app things like stress relief exercises, mindfulness, AI check-ins for support.
Wow, that's pretty comprehensive.
It is. And the kicker. Project 61 is talking about offering this free to drivers. That's a huge signal, a shift towards maybe driver-centric safety, using tech to support the human, not just monitor them.
That feels like a genuinely positive development, respectful, supportive.
It really does. It acknowledges that a safe driver is a healthy, rested driver. And it puts tools for self-care right in their hands. It's about time, frankly.
Okay, so wellness tech is one aspect of the future. Let's talk about the big one, automation. Driverless trucks.
Ah, yes. The robo-rigs.
Our sources show Aurora Innovation isn't just testing anymore. They're expanding their driverless freight network pretty fast. Phoenix, El Paso are next, building on Dallas, Houston. And their goal is fully driverless hauls, no safety driver by the end of this year, 2024. That feels really soon.
It is soon. And yeah, it's a rollout, not a test. They pick those lanes carefully, Major freight routes, good weather, mostly autonomy still struggles with harsh winters and high volume. Makes business sense.
And the logistics companies must be thrilled.
Oh, they're salivating, as one source put it. Think about it. No HOS limits, no sick days, trucks rolling 24/7, no coffee breaks, no layover pay. It's a massive efficiency gain on paper.
Okay, the elephant in the cab. What does this mean for the human driver right now and down the road?
Yeah, that's the question, isn't it? What does this mean for your job? And reactions are all over the place, understandably. Some drivers are definitely anxious, worried about job loss, seeing their livelihood potentially automated away. But others, they're thinking strategically.
How so?
Like, okay, what kind of freight can't a bot handle easily? Oversized loads, maybe? Hazmat? Those tricky last-mile deliveries in crowded cities? Specializing in areas that need human judgment.
Or maybe managing the tech itself.
Exactly. Shifting from driving the truck to monitoring the autonomous system, becoming an override manager or technician. And it's not just Aurora. Kodiak Robotics, they're already running trucks with no human inside at all on certain routes in Texas and New Mexico. This isn't science fiction anymore. It's happening.
Wow. No human at all. And I guess the whole ecosystem has to adapt too, right? Like truck stops?
Absolutely. Maybe they pivot. Less focus on just diesel and diners, more on charging stations for electric or hybrid autonomous trucks, data hubs, secure yards for these rigs. The whole infrastructure will shift.
It feels like this wave is hitting faster than maybe people expected.
It really does. It's not 5 years away. It's building now.
Yeah.
And every single mile these autonomous trucks run, that's more data feeding the AI, making it smarter, faster, more efficient, especially in certain conditions. Like night driving, advanced LiDAR can see and react way faster than a human eye in the dark.
There's a lot to process.
Yeah.
So bringing it all back to the individual driver, trying to navigate all of this, the market swings, the policy changes, the tech. What's the play?
Well, the good news, and this echoes through a lot of our sources, especially folks like Hervey from LifeAsATrucker, is don't just react. Be proactive. Drive with purpose. See the whole picture.
Okay.
And the common thread, really, from sources like LifeAsATrucker, retire from trucking. It's about taking control of your time, not just for the dispatcher or the shipper, but for yourself. Build resilience.
What does that look like practically?
It means actively learning new skills,
Yeah.
using that downtime, that off-duty time wisely, and seriously considering building online income streams. Think of it like creating a shield.
A shield against what?
Against the swings in freight rates, against economic downturns, against your main route suddenly getting automated. It gives you options. It gives you power.
What kind of skills are we talking about? It's not like drivers have tons of free time.
True, but it could be things related to the industry's changes, basic logistics tech, dispatching principles, maybe even learning about the diagnostic systems on these new trucks if you want to shift into monitoring, or using skills you already have, like creating content about your life on the road, YouTube, TikTok, a blog. There's a huge audience for that. Online consulting if you have expertise, maybe even virtual assistant work for smaller carriers during your downtime. It's about diversifying.
So it's not necessarily about quitting trucking.
Not at all. For most, it's about enhancing their trucking career,
Yeah.
building that financial cushion, that safety net. It helps you retire when you want to, not when the industry forces you to. It protects you if, God forbid, your company goes under or your main lane disappears. It's about using the same tech and trends that are changing the industry to benefit you.
Taking control back. Leveraging the changes instead of being run over by them.
Precisely. It's about understanding the market, using the wellness tech if it's offered, adapting smartly to automation, empowering yourself.
Because in an industry that never stops moving,
The smart driver doesn't just follow the road. They actively help shape their own path forward. Knowing this stuff, market shifts, policy changes, tech trends, it's not just interesting information. It's empowerment. It's building a future on your own terms.
yeah, our goal is always to make sure you feel respected, supported, and knowledge, understanding what's coming, that's a huge part of support. Don't just wait and hope things get better or worry that your route's next on the chopping block.
Right. So maybe the final question for you to think about is, how can you take these very trends, AI, automation, remote logistics, and flip them? Use them to build your own advantage, create maybe a side hustle or a new skill set, and really redefine what being a professional driver looks like for you in the years ahead.
Yeah. Good question to chew on. And there are resources out there. You can check out retirefromtrucking.com for ideas on building online income, maybe using AI tools yourself, or LifeAsATrucker.com for that driver community advice, mental health support.
Absolutely. Connect, learn, adapt.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive. Drive safe out there.